Hi, I'm Mandi Feely Swain. I am the host of Origination Boost, and today my good friend and fellow loan officer, fellow leader in her market, Miss Jacy Pool, is here with me today. She just let me know that she has like 7 ribs out of place. And so she's now not only a loan warrior, but she's like a human warrior because she is here and she showed up whether she was in pain or not. So anyways, thanks for being here, friend.
Yes, thank you for having me, pain and all.
And you just, well, I have a script, but you just won Affiliate of the Year for Burley's real estate community, right?
Yes, that was so amazing. Yeah. So on Friday at the event that was announced and tears were shed. It was absolutely amazing to be recognized for just doing things for the community.
Well, let's talk about that first, because if you don't know Jacy, she's in Twin Falls, Idaho. Burley's a little ways away from Twin Falls. And so if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, how do I diversify myself outside of my current market? This is a great conversation to start with today. It's not on script at all. So just, Candace will probably have to edit it. I don't know. But anyways, let's talk about diversifying yourself into other markets, because I think that a lot of loan officers, maybe they feel like they're struggling in their current market. How do you get out and try to, introduce yourself to a new market?
Yeah, so Burley is only about 40 minutes away from Twin Falls, and we have a ton of little pocket markets as well. But I feel like it's huge, especially in small towns, that whatever area you are trying to work in and build relationships in, you make sure you make a strong presence there as well. So one of the top agents that I work with is actually out of Burley, and her and I started in the industry together 10 years ago, and she was the amazing soul who presented my award on Friday. So that meant even more coming from her and seeing her cry in the background of the camera as they were announcing it. But I feel like it's just about building those relationships, especially in small communities, right? You want to see the people and know the people, so making a presence there too.
So what one relationship blossom into being known in that community is what I'm hearing.
Yes. Yeah. So we do a ton together, always have. She is really good at signing me up to be on every committee in the area. So she's always like, hey, you're on this committee right now. I'm like, oh, awesome. Okay. So what can I do to help? But it's not even just about me over there. We've now grown a branch over in the Rupert area. And so we now have a branch over in Rupert, which is just an even smaller little community outside of Burley. But they kind of coincide a lot. So my team is making a huge presence over there also. So just representing Premier as a whole in the smaller communities.
Yeah, I love it so much. So for those that don't know you, let's go back to the beginning, because your home for mortgages has been Premier since you started in mortgages. Yes. 10 years ago. And you had a major life shift, right? A major life shift where you had a salon, which it sounded like that was my dream when I was younger. I thought people come in and they need themselves beautified and they will be happy and leave. And I never thought mortgages, people are happy to come see you unless you give them the money, right? To get the new house. So somewhere along the way in your life, you decided, I'm leaving this industry that I know by the back of my hand, it's safe. And you left that industry and you moved and you went, okay, I'm going to get into a new business. So what was the shift in your life that pivoted you from such a successful career there to now here you are 10 years later in a successful career in mortgage?
Yeah. So my stepfather who raised me passed away. And I was managing spas in Twin Falls, and I had managed spas in the Idaho Falls and Blackfoot area as well. But my dad had passed away and I had a baby, and my husband at the time, it was a lot. Managing creative women is very entertaining, especially when they're all self-employed business owners, which is how a spa works, right? So you have to manage these women that are all self-employed and technically manage themselves. And it just got to be a lot. And I actually had gotten my home loan through Premier Mortgage. I think at the time it was actually American Pacific Mortgage. And the branch manager just kept telling me the whole time, you would be so good at this, so good at this. So I was stepping back from the management role in the spa world and had just decided I had had enough. I was like, I want to go somewhere that I actually feel appreciated, and I'm excited to go to work every day again, and that challenges me. So this is kind of crazy, and I don't know a lot of people know this. I used to actually have to sleep with a notebook by the side of my bed, and in the middle of the night, I would solve math problems because I really like problem solving and I really love numbers. And so I would graph things out, whether it was like our groceries, our expenses for the month, just random math numbers. I don't do that anymore because I actually get
because you do plenty of math every day
now here. Yes. And so I called Premier Mortgage, or American Pacific at that time, and was like, hey, you said I'd be really good at this. Do you have a job available for me? And at the time, all it was the front desk. And I had told my husband at the time, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do the spa world. I cannot do the drama and the crazy. I need something else that fulfills me. And at the time, I'd actually been offered a job at a doctor's office, making so much more money an hour than working the front desk. And he actually was the one who told me, he was like, you've always been motivated to go out and make more. He said, at a doctor's office, you're capped. Here, you have the potential unlimited. And he was like, I know you. This is what you need to do. And
you'll like, stop doing math in the middle of the night.
Yeah. And he was like, I've got this for us right now. If it means you're going and making minimum wage for a little while till something opens up, that's what you need to do. And so I did it. I took a leap of faith.
You worked with our mutual friend, Merity, and Merity was a top producer in her own right. Now she is being a grandma and doing all things fun, right? So, and she kind of took you under her wing and taught you a lot about this business. And she just is a really good person that does home loans, you know, and you grew in that position very quickly. We call it accelerate, meaning, you know, that's kind of our setup desk, and that's kind of where you started. Well, you first started answering the phones, then you quickly moved into this accelerate, and then you just launched into needing even more and being an assistant on a team, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I, soon after I accepted a job working the front desk, had found out I was pregnant with my second baby. And me and my husband at the time sat down, and he was like, I mean, I've got this, but right now we're already paying for you to go to work, so we might need to speed up the process.
Yeah.
And so while working the front desk, I got licensed. And then when I went on maternity leave, Merity actually called me and was like, we would like to offer you a position on the team. This is what that could potentially look like. Take some time, think about it. I had already started kind of bringing in my own deals. My sister had got her real estate license in Idaho Falls, so I was bringing in some deals. So yeah, I went from a team to an independent loan officer to a branch manager, from the front desk. It's been a wild ride.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, and you've just really, since I think from your very first year that you originated on your own, you learned a lot being on a team, and maybe what you loved about the team atmosphere and what you would change about the team atmosphere. And I think if you're listening to, if you know, some listeners on, and they're thinking about creating a team, or they're thinking about launching into the industry, I think that the takeaway there is learn, be a sponge, and take whatever you can from that team environment that you learned, and then do it your way, right? I feel like you've done that all along in your career. You've been a really good student of the business, and then you kind of adjust it and make it yours. Would you say that's true?
100%. I feel like, you know, I'm obviously with Premier Mortgage, and that's all I know, but that's all I really care to know because we have such great leaders on every aspect of this company, right? Every sales call, I'm constantly, still to this day, taking note of what, you know, top producing loan officers and even new loan officers are doing in their market. Some of those new LOs are coming in with this fresh look on the industry and the business. And I'm constantly taking notes of what I can implement into my own business. And that's really how I even got started, as not just being on a team, but as a top producing loan officer, is taking notes from every single person and trying to put my own spin on it and implementing it into my business and being consistent with it.
Yeah. And you and I, we flew out to Florida and we attended Mortgage Marketing Animals. So shout out to them. They have an awesome podcast, and they really provide a lot of value. But you and I were at that pivotal point, I feel like, in the market where the market felt like every day was just hard, right?
Yes.
And both of us were thinking we need to kind of reinvent ourselves to stay top producers. And you and I really aligned on that topic, that we needed to learn new things, try new things, even if it was like out of our comfort circle,
Yeah.
So, because some of those ideas were kind of like, wow, okay, I don't know. And you and I came away with pages and pages of notes that we essentially customized to our own personalities, right?
Yes, 100%. I remember coming back and showing the team everything I learned, and that was really a pivot point in my team. At that time, I had 2 LOAs on my team, and I really knew I just needed one, and knew which one it was that I needed, based off of personality and drive and production, and just really aligning with me and the team, and seeing the overall picture of like, hey, it's not just about Jacy, it's not just about Dakota, but what can we do to grow our business as a team? So later on, it leaves room for her to move up and to bring somebody else in too. And that was actually the shifting point in my business where I knew what I needed to do.
Yeah, I love that so much. And I love spending time with you, of course, but I think that's a good topic of conversation. So if somebody is going to go and they're like independent loan officer, you kind of have to be pretty brave to add a person to your team, don't you think? Like that's how it starts. And then to find the people that are your people, like your tribe, your humans that get you, right? Because we all have our quirks, don't you think? So talk about building your team, identifying candidates, deciding how Dakota came to be on your team. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I actually had other LOAs on my team. My very first one, I held on to too long. I knew that morally we were not aligned, ethically business, we were not aligned at all. Different motivating factors for sure. And after I let that one go, I had a really hard time bringing anybody else on. I kept interviewing. And I was like, yeah, this is not working. I'll do it myself. That's what I kept saying. And the volume just kept coming in. And Merity told me, she's like, Jacy, you have to have another body. I'd work till 2:00 in the morning.
You're gonna run yourself down and burn out.
And then I was back at it at 6 a.m. and I'd work till 2:00 in the morning. And, at that time, I think my biggest month, I had closed 24 transactions by myself, and it just
and you had 3 kids and were divorced and all the things by then, right? So things had gotten kind of crazy at that point.
Yeah. 3 babies under the age of 4. So, and a single mom. So I did need to find that person, and I had found a person. She came on the team. She was a great human, a great worker, just not perfectly aligned. Well, Dakota had started working the front desk. Dakota's husband was my roommate in college, and she was a great friend. We went to school together. She started working the front desk. They had reached out for me to do their mortgage loan, got her a job working the front desk, and she just moved up very quickly. And she was actually offered a position on someone else's team, and she was like, I'm gonna wait. I align with Jacy. That's whose team I want to be on. And after I found that out, it was like, all right, Jacy, it's sink or swim. If you don't put her on your team now, she's going to go somewhere else. So at that time, I already had an LOA. So I was like, yeah, it's time that I step up, and I've got to produce enough now for 2 until I can decide what to do from there, but I can't let her pass me by. So I had to put on my big girl panties and understand that I had to make it work. And we did. And it's been
And Dakota didn't know anything about mortgage. She kind of raised up in the business because you taught her what you knew. You passed that kind of mortgage love on to her. And then she kind of blossomed and just was a sponge as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. Same thing. She's just constantly reaching out and learning. We're both very relationship driven, which I think makes a huge difference. That's how we run our entire business, is based off of relationships. Our daughters are best friends. We literally we align very, very well. Yes. Yeah. My husband's even got her husband into the industry that he's in, and we do a lot together.
Well, let's talk about this. So you don't necessarily have a business when you come into this business, but you're like, I will not fail. I can't fail. I have to pick my heart. I'm not going back to the salon. I'm gonna be in mortgage. I need to survive. I need to do this. Like I don't. My heart is letting my kids down. You know, I have to do this. So at some point, you said, okay, I'm going to work whatever hours I need to, but you had to start from scratch. So go back and think about your young self as your starting loan officer. What did you do, like the first week, month, whatever, to start generating business to bring in? And if you were new, what do you tell people?
Honestly, I have always been very open of like, hey, if I don't have an answer, I'm going to get it for you. And I will outwork anyone else in the room, and I can guarantee that. Whether it means I'm working till 2:00 in the morning to get your deal done early or on time, I know I'm a direct reflection of your business, and I'm going to do whatever I have to support you and your business and take care of the client at the same time. And I feel like just having any opportunity to prove that, I did, even if it wasn't doing their loan, right? I would tell people all the time, if you have questions and you can't get a hold of their loan officer, call me. And I'd always pick up the phone. I remember
Did you go to association meetings? One of your very first agents was brand new, so she must have just come out of real estate school when you started. So that aligned. You guys were both new, right? And now she's a rock star.
Reaching out to brokers, asking if they had new agents, sitting down, going to coffee. I did a lot of coffee dates for a long time, and a lot of just making phone calls of like, hey, I'm here if you need anything at all. I didn't go after top producing agents because I was scared of not knowing what I felt like I needed to know. That's one thing I probably would do different in my business, is I maybe would have tried to work harder to show them that I did know things earlier. But I really just reached out to people who I felt like I aligned with, who became my best friends. I can tell you that the top 4 agents that I work with in my business literally are my best friends. We do things, we go to dinner as couples, we go on vacations together. We talk multiple times a week, not about business, but about our families, about what's going on in our life. Because if you're spending that much time with people, you have to have a strong relationship with them. And I was spending literally everything but maybe 5 hours a day at work. So I needed to have good relationships and work with people who I aligned with.
Mom, and you're remarried, you have a great supportive husband, but you only stay having a great supportive husband and kids that love you if you find some kind of balance. I mean, work-life balance is kind of BS, so you have to find a mixture of it, right? So that's what I hear you saying. Like, you're like, okay, then if I need to find work-life balance, I'm just going to find work people that are my friends that love my kids as much as, I love their kids. And so seem to work for your business, right?
Yes. Yeah. Even when we host events now, they're very family oriented. We spend a lot of time away from our families already and our kids. So we're always inviting agents' entire families to come and join us, because I feel like if you love me, you need to love my family as well. And I know that they feel the same way too. So we're constantly doing things as a whole. And I feel like you have to align yourself with people who are at the same stage as you. Right now in the industry, it is the up and coming agents who got in probably 2 or 3 years ago in the Magic Valley who are doing the large number of deals here. And it's so cool to see, because these are agents that, even though I had been in the industry for a while, that I got to start working with very early on, and I'm watching them just dominate the market because they do have that drive. And yes, work-life balance is a load of bull, to be frank with you. Whenever anyone new gets in and they're like, well, I want to find work-life balance, I'm like, you're in the wrong freaking industry. You either have to decide you want to be the best and the most successful, or you get to have work-life balance, but they don't go hand in hand. I remember as a single mom and a new independent loan officer, I would come home from 5:30 to 7:30 at night, and that was my time with my kids. And I'd text people back, I'll call you right back at about 7:45 when I could get the babies put to bed. And I'd work till about 2:00 in the morning on files, answering questions, sending follow-up emails, getting things structured. I'd get Then I'd wake up at 6. I'd get my kids off to daycare. They were too young to be in school. I'd take them to daycare, and then I'd go back to the office. And that was how I lived my life for a solid 2.5 years. There's not work-life balance. It's the crazy.
Well, and I think that's a really good point you make, right? So if you want to be a top producer, you pick your hard. You're going to have these things that are hard, and you're going to have trade-offs, and you're going to have, usually sleep is the thing that lacks the most. But I do think you can get to a point just like you are now, right? So it takes a while to build. So you're probably sleep deprived, friends, if you're trying to push to be a top producer, push to build a team to get to that pinnacle where you're doing enough production that you can build a team and feel confident that you can feed that team, right? And then, but there is pick your hard, right? So I feel like that's what you're saying in the beginning. Be prepared to put extra hours in if you have kids, because that's exactly how I did it. I mean, people are like, oh my gosh, Mandi, how did you do it? I think you just, when you're doing it, you don't know you're doing it. You just keep doing it every day, and you show up every day, and you just work really hard every day, because I knew I couldn't let my kids down. And I know that's how you felt. And so the center of why we do what we do, it's one, we love to win and there's nothing wrong with that concept in nature. I think a lot of times that is kind of poo-poo-poo-dooed, but I really do think that at the heart of it, outside of just wanting to win and do the best we can, it's the love of our children and the fear of failure, right? So on this side you have fear, and this side you have love. I think the fear of failure was great enough, and the love for our children was trumped that altogether, that we showed up and we did hard things. Would you agree?
100%. If you don't write down what your why is, and you're not constantly reevaluating that, you have set yourself up for failure. I didn't realize how important goal planning was, but here at Premier, that's something that we do. It's literally my favorite time of year. I take it very seriously. Mostly for the simple fact of, when I went through my divorce, there was a lot of days that were extremely hard to get vertical. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was done. I wanted to just curl up, hide underneath my sheets, and just cover the noise of the world out. I didn't care. And I remember one day sitting there, and I was like, I could hear my kids' little tiny beats. And I'm like, nope, don't do it. I don't want to get up. Like, I'm done. I don't want to do this. And I remember thinking, no, what is your why? Your why is, it is important for your kids to stay in private school for this part of their life. That was my why. It was very, very important. Well, that and being able to continue to pay to put a roof over their head, right? Yeah. Like, that was a kind of a given. But I kept reading my why in my head. And finally that day I got up, I took the kids, I brought home my goal planning book, and for almost 2 weeks straight, I had to keep reading that why. Like, get your butt out of bed. Your feet absolutely have to touch the floor today. And that why changes. It was after a couple of months, right? It wasn't all fun and games. The first couple of months I had paychecks with zeros on them, right? And I was digging into my savings account to be able to pay my bills. But then the paycheck started rolling in, and I remember the very first thing I did was pay for my kids' year tuition, all 3 of my kids' year tuition at private school.
Done.
Yes, I'm like, hey, that's done. I reevaluated my why, and constantly looking at that helps push you to do bigger, better things, and that's constantly changing. I don't know. Now when I goal plan, me and my husband, we sit down and we talk about where we want to be for the year, right, as a whole. Because if we do have kids together. We have 4 kids, and he has big goals and businesses he wants to do too. But if I'm wanting to do a ton of production, I can't do that if he's traveling for work for the entire year. Right. So we always discuss at where we want to be to make sure we're on the same page for the next year. It just helps us be able to get along. He's not angry that I'm working all the time, and I'm not angry that he's gone. We know what our goal is and where we need to be.
You basically put it on paper, you both see the goal, and you agree to set goal, right?
Yes. Yep. And if there's a time, I mean, it's usually me that he's like, babe, remember, this was our goal. Like, you wanted me to travel for work this much. I'm like, oh yes. Okay. Yep. That's what we want to do.
I see. So well, and for you, you've gotten to a point where you have faith in your team around you that you can, maybe he can travel more than he could before. And now you can spend most of your time marketing. I feel like as a top producer, I mean, you and I both are deal junkies. We both love to get in and touch and feel and figure out how to make a deal work and figure out how to help a client get approved for what they want or how to get the payment they want. I feel like you and I we're just built that way because we like the art of the deal. But I think something that I've seen people fail in this business is independent originators. If you're a bank loan officer and you show up and you work 8 to 5 and the bank tells you what to do and you take those loans and you work them and you leave, that's different than being an independent loan officer that your job is to find the business and bring business in. And I think that if you can be a great deal junkie and be horrible at marketing and fail at this business, would you agree?
Oh, 100%. It's all about being out there and branding yourself and being seen in the community. I'll never forget, I got these yard signs. So I had started the yard sign thing here in town. And
I love the story. So I'm glad you tell it.
I went to an open house, or it was actually the parade of homes, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, I see you everywhere. I heard it from several people. And I'm like, you see me everywhere. Like, what do you and then I literally started thinking like, okay, I have 2 yard signs. One is, and they're both on the busiest crossroads in Twin Falls, Idaho. So to these people, they think they see me everywhere, but I'm just in 2 places. I really just have 2 agents.
And it's a simple concept, right? How much did the yard sign cost you? What?
Like $100, if that.
So a couple $100 and you're everywhere. And so if you're listening and you're like, what do? I live in this town. No one knows me. Maybe find some yard signs, find some listings on some key streets and take that opportunity and run with it and spend a little bit of money on a yard sign. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. Everybody gave me crap. I remember talking about this at goal planning, and I think it was Lane. He was like, you did not put your face on shopping carts. I was like, oh, yes, I did. Oh, yes, I did. Because when I went from being on a team to an independent loan officer, I absolutely had to brand myself as an independent loan officer, or else my leads were going to keep going to the team that I used to be on, right? I needed people to know me and call me. And so I think that that's almost a little bit harder when you have to rebrand, but I was very specific about how I did it. In our team photos, we always wore blue. So I wore black. I added a different color in because that way when people associated with just me, they didn't associate with that color blue. I changed my logo and made the way that my team logo looked. And then I branded it everywhere. And I was like, yes, I may be that crazy lady on the shopping carts, but guess what? Now people think that they see me everywhere. I did a little competition where if you took a picture and sent it to me and tagged me on social media, you could win a prize, because now it's even growing the social media likes.
Yeah.
I
love that idea. So get a shopping cart, friends, or whatever. And if people take a picture of you being advertised around town, then and tag you on social, you'll put them in a drawing. I love that idea. That's fun.
Brand yourself in the craziest ways. People love it. And I mean, I got lucky. This grocery store didn't change out the shopping carts for almost 3 years. So I paid for 1 year and I just got to stay and hang out, right? And people still saw me.
That's awesome.
So it definitely worked. And honestly, just being out in your community. That's one thing that Dakota and I hear all the time is, how do you guys have enough time? You guys are everywhere. We do make it a point to go to community events. We're constantly involved in nonprofits or giving our time. When I first got in and was an independent loan officer, I didn't have money to give. And so I gave a lot of my time to be able to help, and found the things that were really important to me as to where I could serve. And that's something that I used to manage, not just spas, but I actually used to manage a store. And every quarter we would have to do a event, host some sort of community event. And that's something that we do here now, is every quarter we have to host some sort of community event that gives back. Just because we're very fortunate in this industry, and I think it's important for us to give back where we can.
Well, and let's talk about some of those ideas, just so the listeners, maybe if they want to do it in their market, some things you did. I know that you guys did the Pets on Parade, or you did cutest pet contest. It was adorable. The community came out. All of these cute animals came out.
It was so fun.
It was raised money for charity, right?
Yep. So for the animal show, it was something that we had done actually when I used to work for Maurice's years ago. We did a pet fashion show. And so I was like, what is something we could put into this? And Anna had mentioned she wanted to do a pet fashion show. So we took a lot of what I had done in the past, and Anna had some amazing ideas. We invited the community. We picked 3 of our top like little fashionista agents to actually be the judges. So they judged the event. We had cats, we had goats, we had sheep, we had dogs, and they dressed up these animals, and we had rented out the city park. And we gave out awards. It was amazing. So people had to pay to be in it. And then we went and got a bunch of donations from the community for baskets. So people bought raffle tickets. We ended up raising quite a bit of money. And then we did a match as a branch. So everything that was raised, we just went ahead and matched that. So it was really big.
Yeah. So that was so cute. What other ones have you done? I'm trying to think.
We're working on one right now. We do a ton of lady nights. I cannot announce the one that we're doing yet, just because we're actually trying to work with our homeless shelter right now to do that. But we've done ladies events. We've done a ton of like where we invite the community into our office. If you have a business, whether it's fashion, bracelets, Botox, tattoos, and then we invite the community in to come and get services and kind of do some shopping.
Now they know where your office is and all the things. I love that idea. And let's talk about Friday emails, because you and I both do Friday emails, and I love how you started, because you're like, I don't know anybody, or I know like 5 agents or whatever you knew. So let's talk about Friday emails and why I think Friday emails are cool. So
we I went to the association and just got a list of all of the agents and added them. So we send out an email every Friday that we're on call, and which one of us is on call, with like a funny meme to capture their attention. And that was really how I started getting a lot of phone calls at the beginning, was because other lenders weren't answering their phone. It was amazing to me how many lenders didn't work the weekends or answer after 5 o'clock in our area, until really I came along and was like, well, if you're not going to, I'm going to.
This is the new standard.
Yes. Yeah. And now they're like, dang, Jacy ruined it for us.
But if you're out there and you're like, I don't know any agents, or I know 5 agents, what Jacy did is she went to her local association, got the list, and then BCC'd them, and basically created a signature with her information in it, and told them what hour she was going to be available, or how to connect with her on the weekends if they needed a pre-approval or had questions about a loan or a client they had in process. And that has been important to my team's business too, because it lends consistency. And if you're going to start it, my advice is to start it and not stop, because if you start and stop, that looks horrible on you. So if you're going to start and stop, just don't start. And then if you start something, whatever it is, whatever your marketing plan is, be consistent about it, right? You can always phase out a plan. But I think in that instance, for those Friday emails, and if we don't send them by about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we end up getting text messages from folks. So we just put a calendar invite reminder on our Outlook that says this needs to go out. We have a signature in our emails, so it's fast to do that email every Friday. And then we just BCC in our Outlook and send it to our agent partners. And they really do appreciate it, don't you think?
100%. We get a ton of phone calls, and a lot of phone calls from agents who we don't work with a lot, who are like, hey, I saw that you were on call. Or I'll even get, sometimes they want to talk to me and they'll be like, hey, I saw Dakota was on call, but are you available? I'm like, heck yes, I'm still available. Like, let's talk. Do we need to get creative to make a deal work? Or they have a lot of other lenders aren't doing that. They're not, it's shocking to me how many people do not answer the phone, but they're not answering the phone. So they're reaching out to us. And the consistency thing is huge. There is an agent here in Twin, and I adore her. Always have, love her. She's very community driven. Absolutely adore her. And she's gotten birthday cards from me and thank you cards for probably the last at least 5 years. And every time she gets one, she's like, "You're so consistent. You always remember." I'm like, "Yes, I do. Of course I do. I love her. I adore her as a person." And now it's to the point where she does send us deals. Finally, it's been 5 years, but
well, and that's a really good point. So sometimes your biggest wins take the longest amount of time. Things that are special sometimes take a while to culminate into. So even if that agent isn't sending you business, don't stop marketing the agent for the sake that they're not sending you the business. That you might be surprised that and you should be glad that they're committed to whoever they're working with, because that shows that they're loyal, fiercely loyal to the lender. I'm like, I applaud those agents. But on the second part of that is, you don't know, people might retire, people move, people get out of the business, or they just stop giving that level of service that agent's accustomed to. And when that happens, you want to be ready to be available, and you've been there for 5 years, as Jacy has, and now you're getting the business, but it takes time, so that's why consistency is key, right?
Yes, and don't ever you don't want to be the person that wasn't consistent and loses that lead. Don't ever take your agents for granted. In the aspect of like always asking. I use my agent partner that I've been working with for 10 years. We got into the industry at the same time. We just celebrated our 10 years together. I'm like, I feel like we need to have a wedding anniversary at this point.
Anniversary. Yeah. You just send her flowers.
Yes. She sends me like,
love you, happy anniversary.
Yeah. Every time I look it up, it's 90% of her deals plus 90% plus of her deals go to me as the lender. And I'm constantly asking her, like, what did I suck at? What did my team suck at? What did we do well? What is something that someone else is doing well for you that you would like me to implement into my business?
Or some other sizzle that she sees from some other lender that just came and pitched her, right?
Yes. It was so funny. We actually were at an event and another lender had sponsored tacos. And she had been like blowing this lender off. She's like, not interested. Like, I'm good working with who I'm working with. And she went to go get tacos and he was like, you can't eat those tacos. She was like, oh, okay. Well, I bet Jacy will get me tacos, just fine. Joking. But she's, everyone just knows that she is loyal to us, but it's not, I don't ever take her for granted. I value her and her business and her friendship so much. And so that would be the biggest thing is don't take those people for granted. Be consistent with them also. And find who you want to build the relationships with. I do not want to work with everyone. By no means.
Well, you not interested. You have enough bullets in your gun, right? I mean, it's like, I can only love on so many people and do it really well. So be strategic about who you pick as a partner. I think that that's key too. And find people that love you as much as you love them, and find people that want to build your business while you build theirs. I think a lot of loan officers in the beginning maybe are working with agents that they feel like, gosh, they're just almost in an abusive relationship. I don't know why it's that way. I couldn't tell you, but I do feel like, and as I've gotten older in the business, I can tell you there are really good humans that are real estate agents and builders out there that really can make a difference in your life as a person. They can teach you a lot of things and enrich your business and your and just your soul as a person. And then there's those that can tear you down. And so when Jacy says pick who you work with, I couldn't agree more with that. I couldn't agree more with sometimes, even if they send you a lot of business, if it's too much brain damage or emotional baggage for you, say no thank you and find the humans, find your tribe, right? Does that sound, is that the advice you give?
We had an agent and she was so very unkind. That's the nicest way I could put it. And you never knew what you were going to get. It was either a really, really amazing transaction or awful, and the bad talking and the meanness, but she did send a ton of business. And I've always been the type of person that's like, oh, they mean well. Like, I'm very accepting. If you're mean to me, I tend to forgive very easily. If you're mean to my team, that's a whole different story. But it was finally Dakota one day was like, stop it. She doesn't mean well. And I was like, what? She was like, she doesn't mean well. She's not a nice human. And I was like, you know what? If this is negatively impacting anyone else on my team, I cannot have it any longer. And that's when I was like, yep, no, thank you, no more. Again, if you're mean to me, I tend to be more accepting, but it was at that point negatively impacting my entire team. And we're like, nope, we're not doing this anymore. And I was nervous because it was a lot of deals and it scared me. But it was the best decision I could have ever made for our business, because that agent was taking up so much energy and time of mine that I was able to go out and build 3 more relationships that more than increased business than what she was doing. And they were good, healthy business and personal relationships now.
Yeah. So if you're out there and you feel like that is happening in your life, you need to take a gut check. And sometimes like Jacy says, scary to make that decision, but sometimes it's the thing that will help you launch your career in a positive direction, right?
Yeah, 100%.
What do you think? What other advice do you have for originators out there that you think is key to surviving in this crazy business?
If you think you're working hard, work harder.
If you can't tell, she is like no holds bar. She loves to win. She's super competitive, and but she'll always ante up. Like she will only tell you to do what she will do herself. So
100%. Yes. And do what you say you're going to do. Be a person that people can rely on. I think that's huge. I hear all the time from clients that they didn't hear back from their lender, or they were ghosted, or the agents were ghosted, and they're not, like, somebody was pre-approved but wasn't ever given proper direction. Do what you say you're going to do, follow through, and be there for your clients, and just provide that level of service. I feel like is huge. The other day we went to a training and they talked about level of service, and I immediately was calling my agents and past clients and was like, is there something that I could have done to offer you better service or follow up better or been there more? And they're like, no, you did amazing. And I'm like, okay, well then I'm just internalizing that I felt like I dropped the ball, right? But that's how you improve and get better, is by asking the hard questions, but be willing to take the criticism and the feedback. I had my agent that I asked all the time, she gave me some feedback and was like, well, so-and-so does these follow-up videos and I don't do that. And that was something that she wanted implemented, right? And instead of being like, oh, well, I don't, they suck at loans or whatever, I was like, oh, okay, this is what she wants. This is what I need to do. So take that feedback and don't see it as criticism. Use it to grow your business and do better. I feel like it's huge.
Okay, so last one out the gate. You have a client, they are shopping lenders. We have that happen sometimes. And now they want to shop around. What is your advice to loan officers when that happens? Because you've become a professional at this. So,
I feel like you really need to read your client, first of all. By building that relationship, I feel like you're going to know how to answer this. So I actually just recently had this happen to me. I was working with a client for over 2 years. Actually, I think it was 3 years. And he saw the next shiny thing. This other lender had promised him a loan program that I absolutely knew he didn't qualify for. But knowing the borrower, I knew that he wasn't someone I could tell him the negative, that he didn't qualify. I knew he was someone that I needed to let kind of learn on his own and be there when it fell apart. And so that was how I handled him, right? I stayed in contact. I let him know, like, hey, keep me posted. I hope for the best, but if it doesn't work out, I'm here to pick up the pieces. And that's exactly what I did. I was there to pick up the pieces. Now, there are some clients that you can tell them, like, this is the difference between me and them. And you can sell your worth, right? You know the difference. You can show them the difference in communication. I feel like it's important that you read the person, though, because not everyone's going to react well to that. And this particular borrower actually thanked me for doing it the way that I did, and not trying to tell him what he was doing was wrong, but just being there for him when it did fall apart. And he sent me his son the next day. So
perfect. And I've heard you tell clients that are maybe shopping that, hey, that is absolutely your choice. That's your right. But for now, I'm going to focus on the clients that are very committed to me and my team. And if something changes, please come back. And my commitment is 100% to you at that point. But until then, my resources are going to cease. Yeah. I mean, talk about that.
I had one of those the other week. They wanted something immediately, and it was 4:00 and it was the end of the month, and we were slammed, and she wanted a quick pre-approval, but she was also talking to a bank. And I said, I'm going to tell you the difference between us and the bank, because I will tell you based off of rate and cost. I know this bank's fees. We are equal. The difference is it's a Friday night at 4:00 and you want a pre-approval letter, and I'm going to work late to give it to you, and they are not. However, if you're still shopping me when you do the application, I'm not going to work late on your file tonight. So let me know if you decided you would like to see both, and I'll get you the items on Monday at the same time the bank gets them to you. Or I can work late tonight if we're going to move forward with us. But as far as rate and cost go, me and this bank are hand in hand, like we're equal. And I know that for sure. But I said, but it's not fair to my other clients if I'm stopping working on their file right now, because I actually had 3 other people that wanted to make offers this week, that same weekend, that were committed to me.
Right.
And she was wanting me to work on her file right then and there, and she wasn't committed to me. And so I have no problem telling someone, like, I would love to help you. However, I have 3 other people who have already committed to let me help them. Once you've decided you want to commit to me or whoever else, I'm more than happy to push your file ahead.
Right. And I love that. Basically, you only have so much time in the day, and spending your time on the people that are really committed to you as a loan officer is key to your business. And so, and being forthright with that, there's no problem with being forthright with it. And I love that how you do it, and you handle it very professionally, and it's pretty cut and dry, and people have responded well to that. They're either in or out, right? And it.
Yeah. And you have to tell them that you don't want to waste your time, you don't want to waste their time, and you don't want to waste the agent's time. And I feel like that's huge for our clients, and why we do business the way we do is because our partnership lies with a lot of our agents, right? They refer us a ton of business, and I'm not out there trying to waste their time showing homes to people who aren't pre-approved. It just speaks volumes on the way that Premier handles all of their pre-approvals, going through Accelerate and actually pre-approving a client. We pick up so many deals just solely on the fact that we actually pre-approve a client, and deals fall apart with other lenders all the time. I have listing agents who will be like, oh, hey, you're pre-approved with so-and-so. I'm sorry, but you need a second opinion. We're not interested in your deal falling apart again. And I just had a listing agent call me the other day and tell me, they had accepted an offer like 4 weeks ago from another lender. And she was like, I already prepared the seller that every time we get to closing, the deal falls apart with this lender. Sure enough, she calls me 2 days before closing. The deal was falling apart with this other lender. She's like, I already warned everyone. I told everyone, but that doesn't happen with us. And so just the commitment to your agent partners and educating your client on the difference, right? Know your unique value proposition, know what you're worth, and don't really settle for less, whether you're new or not. That's something I always tell the new LOs is like, just because you're new doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And if you don't, surround yourself with a team that does, right? And a company that supports you and makes it pretty much foolproof. I feel like Premier is foolproof. Our deals aren't falling apart because everything is underwritten by an underwriter and pre-approved. And
ahead of time.
Yes. I'm like, I always joke, I'm like, I don't know how other people survive. I obviously have enough stress in my life right now, hence the rips being popped out of place. But I couldn't imagine stressing over whether or not my deals were actually going to make it to the closing table. Like, mind blowing.
So on that note, mind blown, and my friend that is a loan warrior, and obviously with 7 ribs out of place, she is a human Wonder Woman. But thanks for joining me on Origination Boost, and as you know, I adore you. So
Thank you so much.
Better
Bye.
friend. Bye.
Thank you.